Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today, Strategy or Execution, a very crucial part in marketing. So if anyone can just put it in the comments that you can see all of us and hear us clearly, that would be great. You can put it in the chat box there. We're just going to wait 5 seconds more for more people to join, and we'll just dive directly into today's webinar.
Seconds, not 5 minutes.
5 seconds. Yeah. Just counting on the 5 seconds. All right. Amazing. So hello, everyone, again. So today we are diving into a very important question, which a lot of people ask us, strategy or execution. So we decided that we're going to be doing a webinar related to that for our audience, if they have any confusion, how to diagnose and treat their marketing strategy and execution. So it's crucial to identify where we stand. Are we focusing on our strategy or executing them effectively? It's very important, right? As we navigate through this presentation, keep in mind the answers we drive today can reshape your approach, our approach moving forward. So I'm going to move to the next slide. So I'm going to be introducing myself, just a little bit about myself, about my career. I started in healthcare and RCM industry in the US. I worked with a lot of big brands in UAE, to name a few, Alphatem. I successfully guided several prominent groups in the UAE towards digital marketing growth, especially after COVID. And now in Canada, I'm focusing on transforming brands in Canada with my global experience. I'm going to be, so today we have our guest speaker and our co-organizer, Talia Novik. It's amazing how we connected with each other online. I met Talia on LinkedIn, and from there we started our conversation. She has great experience in the Canadian and global industry. She has superheaded marketing efforts for both Canadian and international healthcare organizations, to name a few big organizations such as Teladoc Health, Extend Eye Care, and CareX. And now she's focused on helping brands, startup, and their foundational marketing in place so they can grow their brands. And that's where I also come in, because when I met Talia, I connected with her on the same passion we have for healthcare. And then with her experience, of course, I'm also learning a lot of things from her. And she's an amazing person to talk to. She understands. The best thing I like about her that she is very detail oriented in whatever she's doing. So she's starting up her own marketing agency, and we are partnering with her on that as well. We've done some successful projects together. There are projects we are doing in the pipeline, and it's amazing working with her. I would like to introduce Rabia. Rabia and I have a long-standing partnership. We have worked together at a boutique hospital in Dubai. And then we decided, why don't we start our own marketing consultancy? Because a lot of people used to ask us, like, we have problems with our strategy, we have problems with our execution, we have problems with growing in the sphere. So Rabia has global experience. She brings years of expertise in digital marketing across various industries, including healthcare, IT, and FMCG. So not only healthcare, but she also specializes in different industries with 10 plus years of experience. So that's a little bit intro about ourselves. You can already see what we specialize in on the screen. And I'm just going to move on to the next slide to give you an overview what we're going to be talking about in our presentation. So it's very important as we embark on our session today. We aim to make it more engaging by dividing it into three distinct segments, right? So it's not only going to be that one person is talking, but then we also added some real life scenarios for our clients to make you understand with those examples that this is how real life scenarios can be challenging. Sometimes you make your strategy, but sometimes there are different challenges on the client's end. So how you tackle them and make it into a better execution. So it's going to be an introduction, problems, definition, why strategy matters. Talia is going to be talking about that. And then I will be diagnosing a real client case study, which is our client at the moment, and then what challenges we face and how we did organic growth for them. And then there's a case study for paid marketing. So it's like a whole, integrated marketing solution, which we are providing, but we are also going to show you with examples how it's going to be and how does it work. And then feel free to ask any questions with the three segments which we have, starting with Talia, me, and Rabia. And then make sure you stay until the end, where we'll unveil our competitive strategy package, something you won't want to miss. So stay until the end. So you got to get a surprise complimentary strategy package as well. So to kick off things, a lot of people usually ask me these questions, which I'm going to ask Talia today. Moving on to our next slide. So Talia, I have a question which a lot of people often ask. So 37% of marketing investment is wasted. Is it true? Does it really happen? A lot of people usually ask me this question, and with a lot of course, algorithms are changing right now in the digital world. So if you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's significantly wasted. I mean, 37% doesn't actually sound like a lot, but the global digital advertising market was 667 billion in 2024, and it's projected to double over to 1 trillion by 2030. So if you factor in the percentage there, that's quite a lot of waste. And you know, in a startup or a scale up, you know, that money can actually equal a lot. And it's not just the budget, it's not just the revenue or the number, the dollars that are being put towards it. That 37% actually leads to more issues. So because when it's not made on the right things to the right people at the right time, it actually also costs your business more. It's a missed opportunity, it's losses to competitors, it's churn, and just so much more. So think of this as not only a budget issue, but 37% of wasted investment in marketing is more than that. Next slide.
I think Drew has messaged something. Please change your layout to sidebar. Let me just quickly do that. Okay.
He was asking me, so I that he's not able to see all three of us. So
All
I
right,
asked him.
so that's done now. I hope you can see us. And thanks for joining.
He just wants to see me. So, okay, so moving on. Why then isn't your marketing working the way that it should? I think a lot of people are, you know, doing all the things. They're, you know, putting out ads, they're posting on social media, they're sending emails, they're going to all events, but none of this is landing. And by the way, vanity metrics, they just don't count. So let's put those aside. So that's a red flag. Sometimes the issue is that the execution isn't done properly, but more often it's because the tactics don't actually align with any strategy. And so that's really key. Next slide. So now we're going to do a poll. Exciting. There we go. So the poll should come up, or am I doing this, or who's doing the poll? Am I launching? Okay, it started. Great. So I want to know what you think, which of these choices from A to F, you can do multiple choice. Which ones are strategies and which ones are tactics? So which ones are strategies? So A, running a retargeting campaign on Meta. B, choosing to position your product for CFOs instead of HR. C, choosing LinkedIn and industry podcasts as primary channels. D, testing 2 value props in a landing page A/B test. E, mapping your customer journey from awareness to conversion. And F, allocating 60% of budget to demand gen versus brand. All right, let's see the results.
I really like that.
That's interesting. So it looks like most people chose C as strategy, choosing LinkedIn and industry podcasts as primary channels. And there were also a few that chose choosing to position your product for CFOs instead of HR. And there was another tie on testing 2 value props and mapping your customer journey. So that's great. But I did throw in an actual, I threw in a tricky one there. I don't think anybody, 0 votes for the last one, allocating 60% of your budget. And the interesting thing is that is actually strategic because it's a budget framework tied to your growth goals. So you need to understand how much budget needs to be allocated for whatever your growth strategy is. So it definitely would be, it's nuanced, but that is definitely a strategy. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So then what is strategy and what is tactic? Unfortunately, they're often used interchangeably. And I've heard a lot of people say the wrong term for the wrong thing. And that's because there are nuances sometimes between the two, but they're definitely different. So for example, channels, an example of a nuance, if you're looking at the channels, selecting the right channels to reach your ideal customer, that's strategic. But then in the sense of channel, what you do on that channel, that's tactical. So it's a slight nuance, but it's definitely different. Strategy is your blueprint, and execution or tactic, that's your build. So they need each other, but you always have to get the order right. You can't just go and send out execution and put out tactics like emails, landing pages, and so on without having your strategic pieces put in place. Next slide. So why does strategy matter? I like this image because somebody actually said that they had some challenges, somebody I'm working with, that they're just throwing spaghetti on the wall. And I'll get to that question in a sec. But I do think that, you know, once we work together and we develop those foundations, that's when they start to see those results and that growth. So investing in strategy is definitely an investment in your growth. Okay, so do we have a question?
Yes, we do.
If, for example, I have a marketing plan, but it's not driving any growth, how do I spot the weak link? It feels like being stuck.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's really important to have somebody outside, like a lot of times as a founder or as somebody who's really close to the situation, you're often not seeing what the problems really are. So I think it's really important to make sure that you have somebody outside of the business, outside of the company, to put in that fresh perspective and make sure that your plan is strategic, that you have the right targets, that you're doing the right things in the right places, so that you start to see that growth and you can identify, or that outside person would be able to identify what those weak spots are. Okay, so next slide. So how do you know if you've been strategic or jumping straight into execution? So here's a bunch of questions you can read through. If you answer no or not sure to any of these, then you really need to focus on that strategy. Next slide. Slide. There we go. All right. So, you know, in addition, one of the things that is key, and I mentioned it very briefly in the beginning, is that yes, strategy is important, but that execution and the analysis and testing, that also needs to align with that strategy. Alignment is really everything, and you have to make sure that your execution is on target. So I think, Jackie, you have a few case studies that perfectly demonstrate the need to align that strategy with high quality execution. Why don't you share those with us?
Yeah, this is a very challenging case study, but I wanted to add it here. So even like whoever has joined, they have startup, or if they have existing company or brand, it's going to be very effective for them, right? And also it was challenging for us. So as we dive into the case study, I want to start off with this quote from Eric Hoffer. It's one of my favorite quotes. This really highlights the critical relationship between having a solid strategy and the ability to execute it effectively. So often the landscape can change quickly. Like when, for example, I'm going to exemplify this in the next slide, but it can often change, right? Anything can happen. If you're working on, you have paid marketing, you might don't have money to invest due to something, and that's what happened with our client, right? So this client is based in USA. He is in occupational health and safety. They have developed a software which actually helps reduce health risk for workers in real time, particularly in the US region. And then their objective was to get brand awareness and lead generation. Now, of course, this aim is to reach companies, like put yourself in front of the companies which are struggling with overwhelmed by inefficiency, manual processes and stuff in the occupational health and safety sector. So what we did is we strategized. Initially, we planned for paid ads on Google, Meta, LinkedIn to boost our brand awareness. It's a B2B client. But what happened, the client was having a challenge. Initially, he approved that he's going to go for paid awareness, which is very important. And then it gives results. It gives better results, better growth with less time. But then his funding fell through, and then he told us that he won't be able to do anything at the moment when it comes to paid, but he wants his brand awareness to be done. So this led us to our key takeaway: great strategy, flex, and great executors, pivot, right? So, and honestly, by being flexible and responsive, we can still hit our goals even when the budgets are tight, or there's very less or few budget which the client wants to invest. So remember, it's not about having strategy, it's also about how we execute it in the real world scenarios that truly matters. Now, the first solution which we provided to this client, and then what we did is we leveraged from the database which was already qualified and vetted, right? He's in the occupational health and industry, and they already have the data of their clients, industry specific, who they want to be in front of, whether it's C-suite, whether it's industrial hygienists, right? So what we did, we created lead magnets on the client's website, which included valuable tools like checklists for occupational health and safety, surveys, and cost calculators, which usually these industrial hygienists who are in the industry, they charge for it, but we made it freely, readily available on our website. With that, we leveraged the client vetted database, and we started sending them email campaigns and emphasizing on the pain points these people are getting, whether they are getting hefty fines, whether in the oil and gas, construction, manufacturing industry. So we were hitting those pain points in our messaging. And then, of course, giving them resources and tools to download from the website. So the results were impressive. We achieved 70% open rates with these activities, which we started initially for brand awareness mainly, and then 40% click-through rate to our resource center downloads, which also ended up in getting more traffic on the website. So moving on to the second solution, which we provided them, Our second solution was webinars, right? Because of course, people who are interacting with the client, with the brand itself, they also need to see, and they also need to see real life, communication, and then how we are solving, or a little bit of demo of their software. So our strategy revolves around hosting monthly deep dive webinars by clients on urgent topics, which truly resonated with the audience. We promoted these webinars through targeted email, social media, and community management, all organic, nothing paid. And with that, the results, I'll just talk about the results now. 70 plus registrations, because these people who are industry specific and target audience, they understand what we are talking about. They are resonating with the problems. So we got 70 plus registrations. 50 to 60% was live attendance, which was really encouraging for the client and for us, that people are interested. And now that is like developing their interest in the marketing funnel. You say brand awareness, and then interest, and then lead generation, getting into booking software, the client software demos, right? So in summary, by offering valuable insight through webinars, we are not only increasing engagement, but also effectively nurturing the leads. And this is all done organically. Moving on to the next slide. The third solution we are giving to our client is SEO. That is a long-term growth, but it's a slow growth. But since the client doesn't have big budgets to pay on his Google ads now, if he's closing some clients, we told him to invest in his SEO slowly and gradually, which takes around at least 6 to 8 months for him to appear at least on the problems people are searching for, and we are providing them a solution. So it's all about talking about their problems and giving them solution readily available, and that's how you're going to attract people. As we examine these tactics, SEO is your long-term game plan. Just want to add a spoiler alert: SEO isn't dead yet, but your SEO game definitely needs a makeover with all the GEOs and LLMs in the atmosphere now. So we're going to be doing another session for that, hopefully soon. Just to make it more engaging, just want to add a poll here: your marketing truth or dare. So I would love to know that what are your challenges? What are you facing? You can see the poll on your screen. So a lot of people are usually spend months planning, but they are launching nothing. You have to launch, you have to start from somewhere. And that's what we always tell our clients, whether it's you're doing it yourself or you want us to help you. Moving too fast is not also very, good. You have to know your target audience. You need to know your channels, and you need to know what your target audience are looking for, their problems, and then the solution. So, all right. So I see that, wow, 33% move fast, no results, and then change direction every 2 weeks. You should not do that. When you're doing something, you should give it a time, at least 3 to 6 months to see the results. And then, of course, it shouldn't be move fast and no results. And that's what happens. So you always need to know your target audience. You always need to know which channels they are going to be on. And then you need to target the right audience with the right strategy. So thank you so much. I'm just going to give it over to Rabia. She's going to be talking about a very interesting case study of our real client, and then how with paid marketing, we, got them leads and brand awareness.
I'm just going to jump in and say that we are getting close on time, and there's a few questions that are coming in, and I just will address them sort of offline while Rabia does her piece.
Or we can actually answer them at the end of the webinar. So we'll have a Q&A section. So there will be a brief time. So I'm just going to tell you guys about a healthcare client that is based in Dubai for more than 10 years. It's a mid-sized medical center with different specialties and multiple doctors working for them. The location is amazing. They had been doing marketing activities for a long time, but there was a problem in getting more and more patients on their doorstep, and eventually that led to a decrease in the revenue generation. So this is one of the biggest problems, and they were not able to sustain. Few challenges that they were again facing was that we identified were they did not have an integrated marketing strategy. The marketing was happening, but there was no strategy, no thought behind what activities should be done, which obviously includes audience segmentation and rest of the things that are part of it. Apart from that, there was no accountability in terms of how much paid marketing spent is done, how many leads are generated, and if those leads which are generated, they are actually being converted into patients who are walking through the door of the clinic. So our approach was very simple. We implemented a full-fledged integrated marketing strategy where we actually brought in revamping their website, creating convertible landing pages for their paid ad campaigns, distributing their paid ads campaigns into different channels, and then eventually building a funnel for their users on the website and implementing CRM. The key takeaway from these were that integrated marketing strategy with proper execution, it leads to unbelievable growth and revenue metrics. And that is what we exactly achieved. We implemented 3 simple solutions for them. So the first one was that we revamped their content of their website. We created convertible landing pages, which were actually redirected to different campaigns on Meta, Google Ads, with proper call to action buttons, proper content that would resonate with their audience and the pain points of their audience. We focused on actually bringing more leads which are going to get converted into patients. The results were very amazing. There was a 30% increase in the website traffic and 50% decrease in the bounce rate of the website itself. The next solution that we actually brought was that we created strategic paid ads. We ran paid campaigns on both Google and Meta. We did A/B testing with regards to audience segmentation and graphics and placements and landing pages. We created campaigns with useful CTAs, including WhatsApp, forms, calling numbers, and we created a mix of awareness, brand engagement, and lead generation campaigns. So this led to 20% increase in the brand awareness, 5% increase in brand engagement, and 80% increase in lead generation. The last solution that we implemented for them was the funnel building and CRM implementation, which actually led to 150% increase in their lead acquisition, which means that the leads that were required were converted into patients, which eventually led to an increase in their revenue generation. So now I'll hand it over to Talia to provide you guys with the key takeaway points. There's a poll that we will actually open now. You guys can answer regarding that. And then Talia can continue further.
I love it. What's your paid marketing game plan? Rabia always has a game plan for any paid marketing. It comes to us, they're spending so much money, burning budgets, and they're not getting anything, and she has a game plan for that. Talia, I think after the poll there are a few questions. I think we should answer that, and then
should we move on to the next slide then, or are we going to show the poll responses?
So we can see that around 33% people actually selected that we run platform-specific campaigns with clear KPIs and funnels. 33% selected that they boost content occasionally without a full funnel strategy. 11% voted that is only 1% that they rely only on the platform, for example, Google or just the Meta. And 2 people voted for that they haven't invested in paid marketing plan yet, but they plan to. So yeah, a lot of you are actually going into the right direction, but then again, a little bit of adjustment still needs to be done in terms of integrating all these marketing efforts. So yeah, handing it over to Talia then to provide you guys with the key takeaways.
So in my last minute, I think I just want you to walk away from this session knowing that most marketing stalls because we often confuse tactics for strategy, or we build execution on the wrong foundations. The brands that scale, they don't just do more, they do what matters in the right order with the right message. And even small budgets can drive big results if they're guided by clear strategic intent and audience insight. So make sure that you diagnose the problem, align the moves, and execute with precision. I hope you've all enjoyed this session.
All right. So before we get into our, that's the surprise gift. We're going to be giving it to everyone, complimentary brand strategy. And actually, we do a very depth free audit, which tells you your position in the market, your competitor analysis, your SEO ranking, your brand messaging positioning. So the free checklist will be emailed to you after our webinar. And then in that, you can score yourself based on few questions, like whether your strategy is working or if it's not working. And then you'll get a free audit from our side. On the same email, you can reply us back, or you can just copy my email from there, take a snap from for my direct email. You can always reach us out with any of your questions if we are unable to answer here. And then, I think we should take few questions here. Someone asked me, we are great at getting leads, but terrible at closing them. Is this marketing or sales problem? So, okay, so this is the challenge which we face with most of our clients, that everyone likes to blame the marketing team when it's not, the leads are not closing. But marketing and operation, but marketing and operation goes hand in hand, right? So if marketing is getting lead, of course, you have to give your feedback to marketing that these are the leads which are not our target audience and we are unable to close. But then it goes 50-50, right? They're also your sales team. Your sales teams needs to understand that when you are getting leads from marketing, you need to put effort, understand. And then, of course, conversion is the sales team, right? You have to work on the conversion. You have to work on your sales pitch. You have to make your customer, example, if we talk about patient, make them feel welcome, right? They are already not feeling well. So they want someone to have a very warm and welcome voice when they are talking to them, rather than just giving them a sales pitch. That's what not they're looking for, right? So that would be my answer to this question.
So we have another question for me. Hi, Rabia. Should we test new platforms, TikTok, Reddit, or perfect our existing ones, Meta, Google? What do you suggest? So I'm not sure what exactly is your industry where you're actually using these platforms for ads. But if we talk about, testing new platforms, it's always good to first test out your audience segment, right? What exactly are you targeting? Who are the people you are marketing for, right? So for example, on TikTok, we have seen that there's usually younger people that are present, right? So if you have a target audience between 18 to 25, yes, TikTok is the perfect platform for you. And also you also need to look into the region where you're targeting your ads or your brand. So for instance, there are demographic regions where TikTok is very famous, right? And generates a lot of leads and business for a lot of brands. But then in certain demographic regions, TikTok is not so famous. People do not like to use it. So there cannot be a definitive answer to this. In terms of Reddit, Reddit is an amazing platform, but it cannot be used for only paid ads. It works the best when it comes to community management and marketing and SEO, because that is where this is how the particular platform is designed. Usually Reddit is very famous in US, Canada, even in UAE region, along with some other Quora and other community management platforms. So yes, you can definitely use these. Again, the only thing is that you should be very clear that who are your target audience for which you are actually using these platforms and to achieve what. I hope I pretty much answered the question.
This one, Talia should answer. What's a common mistake the brands make when it comes to their email strategy? Maybe you can answer that.
Well, a big one is, and I've seen it, unfortunately, is when their email addresses are they're not owned. I think a lot of people tend to dismiss certain canned spam and other regulations that are there's global regulations on spam, and I think often startups and smaller organizations will find their email addresses from somewhere. So they're acquiring emails in a not so great way. And often that leads to either bounces or so their lists are kind of dirty, or, they'll have a lot of unsubscribes, and it kind of gives them a worse reputation as a sender. So I think that's a really important thing, is to make sure that your email addresses are vetted and that they're actually pulled from your own, like they're actually coming into your site, and they're providing their email to you by choice. I think that's key, very important.
And I think to make it more personalized rather than more salesy, right? You also need to understand the different industries you're targeting. If they are in your niche, you need to talk in their language, make it more like simplified, and then talk about their problems at the end of the day. Until and unless you're not going to talk about their problems, they are not going to get intrigued to reply back to you or connect with you, right? So we have another one. How do we turn happy customers into organic promoters without paid incentives? Okay, so this is a very good one, because a lot of people can leverage when there's a happy customer without influencers. We have a lot of influencers right now who are paid influencers, but with customers, you can show them small gestures, small gifts. Like for example, with our clients, for some of our clients, they have their patients, and when the patients are happy, we implemented the strategy where we ask the nurses to identify the happy patient. As soon as they identify they are happy, they should ask them politely for a review, right? Which also builds credibility for the clinics. So we have implemented these kind of strategy. Always engage your patients, always engage your customers, always try to get their opinion, always get their testimonials, which is very important when you identify them. Make them part of your brand, which is very important. And then in the past, when I was working with big brands, I have done that. And then that works magic for your brand without even paying anything. So that is something which is very important.
I think you can
take this one.
Sorry, I just want to add something to that. I think another really good way to involve customers and get them to even more willingly promote and become advocates for your product or your service is by offering them, I'm going to say, extra intel or involvement in, let's say, a future product development. Get them into a small exclusive club or something that really separates these really happy customers, so that it makes them even happier and gets them that extra special something that it's not necessarily a gift, but it's more like, be part of our build, be part of our next iteration because you're so happy.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Rabia, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So hi, Rabia, our ads are performing well, but the costs are skyrocketing. How do we scale sustainability? Very good question. That's one of the most common problems when it comes to paid ads, and that's why people stop doing paid ads after 3 months, because their budget exhausts. Obviously, nobody has fortunes for their lifetime to spend on the paid ads. So what do you do in that case? Usually, again, it also varies from platform to platform. So usually, if you're running paid ads on Google and you're not putting the right strategy in terms of keywords, in terms of what kind of campaigns you have to run and then when everything is even perfect on it and you are actually landing your users to a website which is horrific, which is not convertible, obviously the budget is going to get exhausted, and it's going to increase your CPC, CPA, and all these metrics. Same goes for Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram or any other platform, social media platform. If you are actually running the paid ads without knowing who exactly your target audience are, what exactly they are looking for, where the ad should be placed, what specific language should be used for your ad copies, and which is going to actually make them connect with you or contact with you. This is for sure a problem that your ads are going to get your budget wasted. Another thing that comes here is the A/B testing. A lot of people do not understand the concept of A/B testing, where you have to test multiple ads along with different copies, along with different landing pages, along with different graphics. So even for us as an agency, when a client comes to us with such kind of a problem, we do not directly jump onto just running lead generation or any specific campaign with an objective. We always make sure that we take a time frame of at least 1 to 2 months, where we tell them that, okay, tell us your budget, and we will actually divide this budget into multiple campaigns across multiple platforms, across multiple audience segmentations, with different ad copies, different landing pages, different CTAs, to test what exactly is working. And again, as I emphasized previously as well, that the most important thing to know here is that who we are actually marketing, right? So yeah, once we have all these parameters in place, I'm sure that the ad cost is eventually going to decrease. And don't forget to actually start with your SEO along with your paid ads, because you cannot keep on paying for your paid ads for the rest of your life unless and until you are making fortunes with your business. So yeah, that's how it is.
All right, so moving on to closing our session, we've really enjoyed. Some questions were amazing. Like, I'm glad that people are asking so many questions. So a heartfelt thank you to everyone who made time for us in their busy schedule. We hope this session was enjoyable, experience-filled with valuable insights. The video is going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel. If anyone missed it, you can go ahead and see our session there. If you have any questions, reach us out directly. You'll get a thank you email. You'll get our email, so you can email us directly if you have any question, or if we missed out to answer someone's question. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Talia. It was very informative. Rabia, amazing.
Thank you so much. It was amazing to have all of you. Thank you guys for joining us. And hopefully you'll keep us seeing with different topics. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.